Family, we will never know and aren't ever supposed to know what it's like being an immigrant, right? We can even go back to the American Colonization Society. Did you know that Booker T. Washington used his influence to lobby to the White House, to Washington, to protect Africa as a nation? Booker T worked with the German Colonial Society, I think it was called the German Colonial Association or something like that, in Togo in the early 1800s. And what he proposed was that the United States of America, or Black Americans, use our leadership to work behind the scenes to take the Tuskegee approach, the quote-unquote Tuskegee approach. And what the Tuskegee approach is Black Americans not leaving the United States and living elsewhere permanently, but Black Americans going to certain places around the world like Grenada, Liberia, Isle of Ash, Haiti. And what we would take is we would take advancements of farming, advancement in agricultural literacy, and growing cotton and things like that, right? The Tuskegee approach. Black Americans way back then were thinking about how we were going to protect the interests of the people of the land. Also, we were taking money, we were taking our own infrastructure. See, we didn't, even when the American Colonial Society was going on, no Black Americans were thinking, hey, look, I'm going to go to that land for better opportunity. No, we were taking opportunity to the land. That's the fucking difference, right? Also, the difference is, you know, we asked you for unification when we went over there, and you flat out was just like, no, you are somebody different. You operate in something different. You have a different struggle. You have a different mission. You have a different aim, right? So you guys delineated. You guys delineated from Black Americans during the American Colonization Society immigration experiments. Right? This is the reason why, like, you can find in 1812, January of 1812, 1817, something like that, the Philadelphia and Virginia discussion. Right? There were rallies. A few days later in Philadelphia, thousands of Black people got together, took to the streets, and declared that this is in one voice, that this land is the land of our nativity. Several quotes, hundreds of thousands of quotes. Every time that the National Convention of Immigration got together, our people rivaled that and had a national convention of free colored people. Yes. Yes. This is not the first time we've been having this conversation about the harms of mass immigration, specifically to Black Americans. Right? It goes on past that to the 1920s, then you speed up to the 1930s, 1950s, 1960s, 1980s. It continues on to 2026. We have finally got to deal with this delineation thing, this disaggregation thing. Everything, and I mean everything, needs to be lineage based. Everything. Everything. We need to be lineage based minded people, because these are colonial minded people. Right? They say that they're here for opportunity. Opportunities they did not create in their own homeland, either because they didn't want to or they just simply could not. The opportunities that were created from oppression by Black Americans is unmatched with any other ethnic group that has been oppressed by either people that look like themselves or Eurocentric looking people. These immigrants will have you to believe that it's because of their hard work, right, that they're able to thrive. No, they're able to thrive because they're taking opportunities using skin color that were not set up for them. Right? You got to ask them, how come when you were oppressed, saying that white tea oppression is white tea oppression? Okay, so we took our oppression and turned it into our opportunities, and also opportunities that we find you exploiting. right? But you didn't do anything with your oppression and turning it into opportunities to help anybody but yourselves, right? And in doing that, you destroyed yourselves. You talk about all of this, white tea this, white tea that, but you flee predominantly melanated governor-ran countries, states or towns, or continents. Make that make motherfucking sense. If we're the same people, and oppression is oppression, and white tea is white tea, why did you have to leave? We are 14, supposedly, we're not, but for the sake of conversation, 14% of the population, right? That's what they want to call us, 14% of the population. What is the percentage of population of melanated people in Jamaica? What is the percentage in Haiti? What is the percentage in those African countries? Right? It was 54 to start, but I think the African Union saying they got 55, 56 because those countries are inside splitting against each other. Ain't no more land growing off of the African, the landmass. No, they're splitting inside. So they're making more countries over there by splitting inside. Meanwhile, at the same fucking time, asking black Americans for unity. You got to be out your goddamn mind. Even these Ghanaians don't realize that we know that, listen, there's herdsmen over there that are in dispute about land. You understand what I'm saying? You got chiefs over there at a National Security Council meeting, right? Ready to go to blows. You understand what I'm saying? There's a whole problem with the chiefs, so-called chiefs over there, not getting along. Right? But they're over here asking us for unity. You got to be out your motherfucking mind. Black Americans are never supposed to know what it's like being an immigrant. We are not immigrants. Right? So these people are not asking why are we divisive? They're asking how come you're not taking us with you anymore? That's what they're really asking. You know we can't do this on our own, right? Because we don't want to or can't. So we need black Americans to carry us. Without black Americans carrying us, we're going to be exposed. Right? Now that this same skin color game did not work, what do you have? Tangibly to stand on. What can you come to black Americans and say, well, shit, if we delineate, then this goes away. What is that thing that goes away when black Americans delineate from persons of immigrant descent? What? You didn't create the colleges, so we're not going to lose educational opportunities. You didn't create the labor. You didn't create the labor industry, so we're not going to lose that, right? You're not the leaders of personal care service, so we're not going to lose that, right? We're not going to lose anything. It's you who stands to you lose everything. And that's what this is really about. We found you in our business. This ain't about what white tea people do. This is about what melanated people have done on this motherfucking soil. You're not a threat to white tea. Right? You talk about white tea supremacy, but you ain't never felt it. If you were a threat to white tea people here, you would know exactly what white tea supremacy looks like, feels like, and is in 2026. Not what it was, what it is to you. Right? Because you threaten these people somehow. You don't threaten these people. Not their wealth, not their income, not their labor. So if you're not threatening theirs, who the fucks are you threatening?